celebration of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, four-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Melanie Hubbard-Robinson. A little bit about her. Born to win and destined for greatness, Melanie Robinson is a visionary, empowerer, and true entrepreneur spirit. She dedicates her life to helping others discover their God-given purpose and create the life of their dreams. Melanie's philosophy is, in order to have what you never had, you must do what you have never done. This mindset was the catalyst that inspired Melanie to launch her women empowerment movement, Fierce, Fearless, and Free. This movement empowers women to fearlessly live the life of their dreams and look fierce doing it. As a creative spirit, Melanie partners with aspiring and new entrepreneurs to assist them in identify their skills and talents using her coaching system. She helps them create step-by-step strategies to effectively brand, launch, and market their business. She is the proud author which is the compelling nonfiction that attacks the diabetes disease head on. Additionally, it is a call to action for women to be positive role models to our little girls. She not only identifies the problem, but also offers a solution to save our sisters and help them take their place on the throne as queens. Melanie is a proud native of Memphis, Tennessee. She spent many years in Nashville, Tennessee, as she attended a prominent historically black college, Tennessee State University. It was there that she obtained both her bachelor's and master's of business administration. Melanie has a strong human resource background. She is the human resource manager at Daimler Trucks North America, a global distribution company, has a professional human resource certification, PHR, and is a SHRM certified professional. And each day she competes with herself to touch more and more lives and to be a better woman than she was the day before. Welcome to the table, the amazing Melanie Hubbard-Robinson.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. I'm humbled to have you at the table today.
I'm just truly excited, like very excited to be here and looking forward to it for sure.
Well, I know my listeners have heard your amazing bio, so please tell us more about your entrepreneur journey.
Yes, it's so amazing because I don't think I always knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur by my mind. I've always thought corporate. And I ended up starting a blog called Fierce, Fearless, Free. Had no idea that it would turn into any kind of movement. Didn't know I was going to turn into a coach or anything of that nature. I was simply just trying to speak to issues that women dealt with, whether it be relationships, whether it be career goals, whether it be professional, whatever it is they were trying to accomplish. And throughout that process, people started asking me to be a part of their events. People started asking me to make appearances, to do radio interviews. And then I hosted my first event, which was a turning point for everything, which kind of catapulted me into life coaching and business coaching and ministry and so many different avenues. So I'm so excited just to see where Fierce, Fearless, Free continues to take me.
Well, I just want to say you're doing some amazing things. I consistently follow you. So, I commend you for creating that space for women to come and be able to learn and be able to help, get their business to the next level.
Thank you.
So you are passionate about helping others to discover their God-given purpose and create the life of their dreams. So tell us more about your passion.
I'm just truly passionate about helping women find their happy. I know for me, there was a point in my life where I didn't have that happy, and it's truly rewarding once you get to a place of peace. Whatever it is that you're seeking, I get really excited and passionate about helping women to kind of sit down and figure out, how do I go from point A to point Z and 1 to 10 and all of that. So it's truly an amazing feeling when you can help women get to their place of happy.
Because, when you're not happy inside, it shows, right? So
it does.
It's so important that we're happy and we're happily doing it. I think a lot of people stay in certain situations and they're not happy and then it doesn't last. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's absolutely true. I think I've been, luckily through wisdom, I've gained a lot of wisdom in my journey because I know what it felt like to not be happy. I know what it felt like to be unhappy on the job. I know what it felt like to not think I had a gift or a skill or a talent. So it showed up in my relationships. I wasn't showing up in full effect in my friendships. I wasn't stepping into, very positive relationships. It was just all these different components. I wasn't nurturing myself. Personal development was lacking. So when you're not happy, you don't have the energy or the drive to do anything. So it spills over into every relationship and every situationship that you have.
So how did you, what are some steps that you took to step out of that, like to get out of that funk, to like really make that change and do that pivot?
Well, I know for me, there was a point, actually Fierce, Fearless, Free, where I really felt lost, and I really was on this whole spiritual battle type scenario where I'm just really trying to figure out, like, God, what is my gift? What's my talent? Why am I here? And so I took a season of separation to really get into a quiet place so that I could hear God's voice. And I remember he revealed to me that he gave me the gift of speech and that my words were going to help women to operate in purpose. So it's a matter of first just identifying, like, what is the gift, the skill, the talent that God gave you to give to other people in the world.
I love that. And you said you had to take that season of separation. Now, a lot of people are afraid to have that separation, right? But that's when you're growing. That's when you really can hear God. And we have to remember that on our journeys that, elevation requires that. And a lot of people don't want to do that part.
It's hard. It is a hard thing to separate yourself from people that you talk to all the time, to separate yourself from your habits. So it wasn't an easy journey, for sure.
Wow. So you are the CEO and founder of the Fearless Free movement. So I'm sure the Fearless Free movement, was that birthed out of that season of separation?
It absolutely was. I really felt down on myself during that season because I felt like everybody around me knew exactly who they were called to be. And so I knew what it felt like to be in that lonely place, to feel like everybody got something but you. And when I finally got it, when I finally figured out the steps and I started walking in purpose, I was like, I never want anybody to feel that way. So I created a platform that allowed me to help other women to, like, put one foot in front of the other and figure out, like, what am I here to do and how do I step into it once I identify what that thing is.
And you said something that stood out, which was you said you found your purpose, right? And I think a lot of people get into entrepreneurship, and sometimes they don't. It's not, not passionate about it, and it doesn't last. And so it's so important that we're chasing the impact and we're chasing our purpose. So if you talk more about that to our entrepreneurs who are just stepping into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think when you're stepping into entrepreneurship, one, you got to know why you're doing it. You got to know why you're in that place. A lot of people are being very trendy because entrepreneurship is the trend right now of our generation. And I think that you really got to step away from the financial gain. You got to step away from the fame and the influence, quote unquote, from social media. And you really got to zone in on the thing, like the difference, the problem that you're trying to solve. And does it really mean something to you? And Fearless Free makes me emotional. I'm it's like my baby. And if you don't feel like it's your baby, then it's probably not the route that you need to go down. It's not the path for you. You need to reevaluate till you find that thing that really makes you emotional and protective.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. And how can listeners get involved with your movement? How can we support and get involved?
It's so many different ways to get involved with Fearless Free. Of course, we have a social media platform where people are getting the daily inspiration. They're getting the daily tips. So whether, it's the work-life balance component, you're looking for the ministry component, whether it's the entrepreneurial component or career focus, whatever you're looking for, that initial motivation and empowerment is going to happen through our social media and also through our email list. So if you go to fearlessfree.com, you're going to get free downloads if you join our email list. You have opportunities to attend my events, which are also another way that you can kind of get involved with the movement, and also through working with me personally. So I offer so many different ways to work with me, whether it's live events, through the internet, or one-on-one in person.
I love that. So our listeners, please follow this amazing movement. Melanie is doing some amazing things. And so tell us more about your coaching program. I know you have a coaching programs, right? So could you tell us about the different ones that you have?
Absolutely. So You can get involved on so many different levels. Some people attend a lot of the courses. So I do a lot of online courses where it may be targeted towards a specific topic. I really absolutely love branding, marketing, and design. And so I teach a lot of clients how to do that and how to build a social media presence. So usually that's an online platform or a webinar or a master class. I also do group coaching. So that's typically just like the school, it's like the school affairs, right? So every school semester, I'm offering a small group coaching program where I get a chance to work with a group of people to build that accountability and not just let them hear from me, but hear from each other to support each other as sisters in success. And then, of course, I have some clients that's like, nope, I need all your attention. I want to work with you very closely. And they sign up for our one-on-one coaching programs, which you can opt in at any time on my website for all of those.
So please go check her out. If you need some of her services, definitely go follow Melanie and get involved because branding and marketing is so important when trying to get to the next level in your business. Now, we're talking about that, Melanie, because I know you're passionate about helping definitely new entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, market their brands and get to the next level. So what are some strategies you would give to new entrepreneurs to effectively brand their business?
Absolutely. So I encounter so many women at different levels. So what I find is we're in this phase where everybody kind of wants to skip the mindset, the personal development. We want to skip the empowerment, the motivation. We want to go straight to the steps and the strategies. But I find that the key thing that you have to do is get your mind right. Like everything starts in your mind. So to be successful in any brand, it doesn't matter what industry it is, you can't skip that personal development. You got to go to the place where you get your mind right or you're going to quit. Another strategy is to know your audience. You can't build a brand. You can't create the product or service because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know how to talk to them. You want to talk to your mom the same way you talk to a best friend or you talk to a significant other. So you got to know who you're talking to so you know the tone that you're going to give them. And we're not identifying the problem. Like every business should solve a problem or attack some type of pain point. And you got to know the problem in order to create the solution. So once you know the audience, the problem, then you can easily create products and services that solve that particular problem. And lastly, I think I would say treat your brand like a person. You got to give it some personality. Like you establish every relationship based on that person's personality. Give it a voice. Let it become a character, and then bring your character to life.
I love that. Personal development, knowing your audience, identifying the problem and the pain point. That's so important and giving it personality. For all of our listeners that are listening, those are key strategies. And I know you meet with all types of entrepreneurs, seasoned, new. So what are some of the pitfalls you have found that some of your clients and some of the new entrepreneurs have experienced thus far? Because, when you're trying to get into the game, a lot of people, they look at, some people, like you said, compare themselves on social media, but they're looking at their chapter 20, and, they're only on chapter 1, but they don't know that, right? So that's why you can't compare.
Oh, absolutely. Comparison is the death of probably every brand that's out there, comparison and doubt. But as far as pitfalls to new entrepreneurs, I would say, one, we just talked about it, skipping the empowerment mindset piece. Everybody wants the steps and the strategy. It never fails. When I get one-on-one clients, it's like, give me the steps. Give me step by step. I don't want to go to another brunch. I don't want to go to another whatever. But as soon as they hit adversity, as soon as they have doubt, as soon as friends don't buy their product or service, they tap out. So you purchase all this stuff. You got all this LLC, all this commitment. But you tapped out because your mind wasn't right. So I think that is the biggest pitfall, regardless of the industry, regardless of the level of my client. It's always a mindset to where they say, am I good enough? Is my product good enough? Do people really want this? And they tap out on themselves.
And we got to get past the part of our friend supporters. Most of the time, your friends is not going to be the people that's buying from you. Can you speak more on that?
They absolutely will not. And the thing about it is, if they do, it's an initial just because you're my friend type of sale. It's not an ongoing customer.
Right.
Most people that support my business, matter of fact, everybody that support my business, don't get me wrong, I have my close friends, they go hard for Fierce Fearless Free. That's their baby too. My husband, that's his baby too. But as far as like creating the revenue with my business, the coaching clients, these are people that I met, online at events. Never didn't know them past, Fierce Fearless Free. We don't have a personal relationship, but they go hard for Fierce Fearless Free because they've fallen in love with what the brand is, what it represents, and they can relate to it. So I don't care how my friends support me, whether it's through prayer, a text message, encouragement, sharing a flyer. I'll take all of that. I don't need you to buy all my products and services because I'm not targeting you per se.
Right.
So I just need you to do what you do, keep me in your prayers, tell people about me. But I think the focus needs to be on, again, everything relates back to the ideal client, and that's the only person that you need to care about or cater to.
And also to remember that everybody has an audience, right? Everybody
Absolutely.
has one. So
everybody has an audience. Yeah.
Everybody does. And I think a lot of people, like you said, it's that little part right there that supports things that, has caused a lot of friendships. But also, you also learn who your friends are, too, as you continue to elevate in those seasons. So
everybody has their role. Yep, everybody has their role. Everybody has an audience. And if you think you cater to everybody, then you just have not defined your audience, because nobody caters to everybody.
Mm-mm.
Or you shouldn't, at least. You should not.
Right. So what is some advice you would give to new entrepreneurs who are just starting out? I know you said that, mindset was definitely the main thing. But what are some other things you would say for new entrepreneurs who are just starting out there and they're trying to feel, because sometimes when new entrepreneurs start out, they're still trying to find their niche, right? And, they try a lot of different things. So it just depends.
I think the most important thing for everybody to remember, and I teach my clients this, because we have like big dreams, big goals, big visions, big aha moments. We see all this stuff on the internet. And I think it's very important to start where you are. And don't try to create skills, because a lot of times we say, oh, I want to do that. And we get on Google and we're like, how do I do that? And then we try to teach it. And you're not an expert because you just read it on the internet, which everybody can just read it on the internet. Start with the skill that you have now. Package what you already know. Sell that because you are an expert in that. You already know how to solve that problem, and then expand. So, I want to do a lot of stuff. Trust me, this big pink corporation in my mind, that's futuristic. All the stuff I want to do, I have to put some of it in my pocket, and I focus on the skill that I have now. I know I'm a great speaker, right? I know how to move people emotionally. I know how to do, do-it-yourself branding and graphics. So I started teaching what I knew, work-life balance. My life is crazy. I work full-time. I have a very demanding job that takes me all over this country, from Dallas, Des Moines, Portland, Oregon, places you never even dreamed of. Then I have my business that I do that's full-time as well. I have a 1-year-old. I have a whole husband. My husband is also a pastor, so we're in the ministry. He's not only in the ministry, we also have a daycare. So we have all these different things. I wear so many different crowns. So I master balance. So I'm going to teach balance because I'm not the only one struggling with that. But when I go out and try to do something that I'm not as good at, then people say, you know what, she stole my money, it wasn't worth it, all this stuff that happens. And again, it makes you quit. Start where you are.
Start where you are, right? You might not have the photos of the website. Just start.
Start where you are. It gets better over time. You look at me 5 years ago, those photos didn't look that great. They were fuzzy, not cute, not trendy. Trust me, they were not that great. No logo.
Yes. Come on, start where you are. I think people are so confused. They think they got to have it all together. I got to have a website. I got to have a picture.
Nope.
I got to have this. No, most successful people just started.
I had, the website that had Wix at the end, all this stuff. It was not fancy. I had Facebook. It wasn't the best cover. It wasn't necessarily pink and black. I was all over the place. The fonts were all that stuff that people say matter before you start. It doesn't matter. People want to see progress. They want to see real people. So start where you are.
Yes, I love that. I'm loving the fact that you create that space to speak on balance. That's a lot, especially when you're doing corporate America and entrepreneurship. That balance.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm still working on that.
Yeah. Look, I didn't have a choice. I did not have a choice because, I said I wanted this stuff, right? If I want it, I got to figure out how to deal with it.
I love it. So please tell us more about your book and how we can purchase and support it.
That book, I didn't even know it was going to be a book at the time. It was coming from a place of frustration. I did a lot of mentorships in Nashville, Tennessee, and I would have so many young ladies talk about, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you just expect doctor, lawyer, teacher, entrepreneur, all this stuff. And they're talking about basketball wives and Instagram models, all this stuff that I didn't even know were professions, right? So I'm just writing, like, you don't have to expose yourself. You don't have to settle. You don't have to sacrifice things that you believe in to get the house, the cars, the purse, all this lavish lifestyle. So I just created a book to let women know that just be patient. Be patient and understand that do your journey, go through your process, and God will provide. He will give you the desires of your heart. Don't settle, because trust me, settling gets you nowhere but broken emotionally, mentally, physically, and just be the example. Because you have a responsibility even for the young ladies that come after you. So it's a call to action for young ladies, but also for women to step up to the plate and just be fierce military women for our girls.
Absolutely, because that's so important, right? It's so important that we reach back and pull forward and make a difference, right, to be able to close these gaps with our girls, with our young girls.
Absolutely.
So how can they purchase it? Can they go on Amazon, or can they go to your website?
Both. So it is on Amazon, so you can definitely go out there and put No Bad Bees Allowed in there. And you can also go to my website, Fierce is Free. So everything that I offer, from products to services to T-shirts to mugs to books, all of that is at fiercefearlessfree.com.
So please go purchase her book. Definitely go support. So, Melanie, I asked all of my guests this question, and I know you've built your tables and continuing to build them, but how did you create your seat at the table?
What's funny about that, I love the concept, but to be honest with you, I didn't. I think I focused more on creating my own access, and then I ended up building my own table, and then I said, you can sit with me. Part of my story is I decided that once I knew I had to give the speech, that I wanted to be a motivational speaker. And I remember I was trying to collaborate. I was trying to join people's events. And I remember this coach told me, well, you can't just pop up and be a motivational speaker. You got to go out and be great first, and then people invite you in when you do great at something else. And I'll never forget when she said that. See, depending on your mindset, that'll shut you down and you will believe that. But she didn't know who I was. She didn't know me. So I made a decision that, no, I don't have to do that, and people don't have to invite me to their event. So I hosted my first event called Sister in Success that year, and I never forget that event sold out. I only wanted 30 people, and it was over 40 people at that event, and I knew that I didn't need anybody else to allow me to sit at their table. I was going to create my own table, and then I'm going to let everybody know that if you want to, you can have a seat at this table.
I love that, because not only did you want to build your own, but you said you can come sit with me. Because some people don't want you to sit. They're selfish.
They don't.
Build it, right?
I see it all the time. All these women empowerment brands, all these different things, and they post all this stuff, but they're not who they're supposed to be.
That's right. That's right. Social media is funny. The social media entrepreneurs.
It is.
Yes. So we all have our journey, and pain is part of it. And a lot of us don't like to be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. So what did failure teach you on your journey?
It's so funny because when I was going through different stages and I experienced failure, I think initially I thought it was the end of the world, and I soon found out it was just God allowing me to get the wisdom that I need to experience to create the story. And so I think my end conclusion was delay just doesn't mean denied. I think I was trying to do a lot of things prematurely. I was trying to keep up with people that were on chapter 20, and I soon realized that it's not failure. This is my learning process. This is the story that I got to share to my ideal clients so they understand if I can do it, you can do it too. And so, just delay doesn't mean denied. It's the timing of everything. There's an appointed time for everything. So it really wasn't failure. It really was just lessons learned along the way.
Yes, lessons learned. Delay does not mean denied, and timing for all of our listeners. That timing, that's the most important part.
Ooh, that timing hard. It's hard to wait on the time.
Yes.
But yeah.
So what did success teach you, because you're very successful?
I think, people say you can do anything. Like anything is possible. And, subconsciously a lot of us don't believe that. But I think as I continue to get more accolades and God continues to order my steps and open doors for me, and everything that that once was an affirmation comes to fruition, I truly do understand, and it taught me that you really can do anything that you want. It sounds cliche, but you really can do anything, and that all things truly are possible. This year has blown my mind alone. I have been speaking motivational speaking is something I'm really trying to step into. It's really my purpose. It's really my passion. It's an avenue that God is trying to take me to. And so this year was the year that I decided that I was going to be a true paid speaker for pretty much every engagement, and I was going to be a world-renowned speaker. And God allowed me to be all of that, to where all of my engagements have been paid speaking engagements, and God also allowed me to become an international speaker. This September, I will be going to Tokyo, Japan, to speak at a business retreat, and I'm just excited to see what's happening for me.
Amazing.
So I'm just thankful. Anything is possible. That's the lesson for everybody. Anything is possible if you believe and if you work.
Right. Key word: believe and work.
If you believe and work.
Don't work. You got to work, though. Some people want to win and not work, but you got to do both.
It was hard. It was a lot of applications. It was a lot of time and dedication to get in the right place at the right time with the right people, but it was so worth it to have the faith in the work.
And we got to remember that our destinies are tied to our connections as well.
Yes, absolutely. I'm thankful. I'm not just going to Tokyo by myself. I'm taking a group of women, and we're all operating our gifts in another country, and it's just so amazing.
Well, super congratulations on all your success. You're doing some amazing things. You're doing some amazing things.
Thank you
so
so
what
much.
Can we expect? You are welcome. What can we expect from you for the rest of 2019? We're in quarter 3, almost getting ready for quarter 4 soon. So what can we expect? I know you're going out of the country to Tokyo, but what else you got going on?
I am, of course, dropping several courses. My ideal clients speak to me. They're very engaged. So they've been telling me what they want from me, and I'm getting ready to deliver on just the needs of my clients. And so it's so many, easy access courses that I'm getting ready to drop. Some people are not ready for coaching. Some people are not ready for that commitment, but they're ready to learn. So I'm giving them easy access to me and my skill set through my courses that I'm getting ready to drop. I am working on a book. I'm not going to tell you, it's not going to drop in the last quarter, but it's getting ready to drop soon, early 2020. So I'm working on this book. I believe that this book will be a bestseller. It is my baby, and I think it's going to help a lot of women in the areas of just purpose, business, entrepreneur, relationships, marriage, being a mom. I'm an entrepreneur. I do it all. So I'm going to speak to the struggle of it, the transparency of what it's like to be a wife, to be a mogul, to be a mom, to be all of this stuff, because it's a lot that happens. There's a lot of stuff that I've dealt with that people don't even understand what that really looks like. They see this pink stuff, and they don't understand what happens behind the pink. So I'm going to give them a full, just open door, backstage pass to the Fierce Fearless Free Life.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to see all the great things that God is going to continue to do, and super congratulations in advance on the classes and international speaking, the books. And you said something that touched to what I wanted to say about people see like you said, they see the end result, they see the accomplishments, but they don't know the story.
They have no idea. They have no idea. It's a lot of newness in my life, from business to being a wife, to being a mom, to being in the ministry from a different perspective as a first lady. It's a lot that happens and a lot you deal with emotionally. And so I truly want to share that, because it's a lot of people that are young, that are millennials, and even generation after that are going to deal with that. And I want to make sure that people are being open and honest on what it looks like.
I love it. And thank you for creating that space and, being able to let them see, hey, this is how it looks, right? It's not all what you see on social media. That's just what people post to be, like you stated. Don't be fooled by that. Know that it's a process. So
it is. Worth it process. Like, I truly live a happy life, but it is a process every day.
Yeah. So please tell our listeners how they can follow you on all social media platforms.
Absolutely. So on Instagram and Facebook, you can find me at Fierce Fearless Free. I'm very active on all social media, but Instagram is my baby. I hang out the most. I definitely say subscribe to my email list at fiercefearlessfree.com. We know how social media can go in and out, but if you're on my email list, you'll always have contact with me, and just be on the lookout for any event that I host. They'll always go through social media. They'll go through my website as well as my email list. So please subscribe on fiercefearlessfree.com and follow me on social media, all social media platforms at Fierce Fearless Free. So
please follow her and support. She is definitely somebody to know. So definitely reach out to her, follow her on all social media platforms. I would like to thank you, Melanie, for coming to the table, taking the time out of your very busy schedule, sharing this amazing wisdom and knowledge that you have shared tonight with this powerful interview with my listeners. And I can't wait to invite you back to the table.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Good night.
So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore and my intern Sarah from Tennessee State University and my intern Savon from Virginia Commonwealth University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.